Hi, my name is Mansi. This is the second vlog for TheAIFolks. Today we're going to talk about all those things that are plaguing the AI industry around the world. Yes, we're going to talk about 5 top things that are not very good for the artificial intelligence industry. So I've made a couple of points. The first thing I feel is that there isn't any collaborative approach that we have. Okay, each nation has their own way of doing AIs. Of course, there are a lot of things that you can do in AI, and there are many ways in which you can actually do AI. But I wish there were collaborative efforts. I wish each country spoke to the next country in terms of trying to use AI, to develop it, to inculcate it, to analyze it, to do things right. Okay, because since each nation is trying to do its own ways of things, it's very difficult to see that all of us come under the same umbrella. So that's the first thing. Adoption of AI is just as bad as no collaboration at all, because many nations, some of them may not want to do it, or they don't probably understand it. But that can be solved when countries come together. There are so many platforms in which countries come together for artificial intelligence. So if they can come together and talk about collaboration, about adoption, that will be great. So that's the first point I want to mention, where people coming together is always strength, right? I mean, 2 heads are better than 1. So many heads are better than just 2 heads. So that's one thing that I want to say. The second point that I definitely want to talk about is privacy. So you're trying to anonymize the data, right? Where are the rules and regulations for this? Each country has its own rules and regulations. Not only country, I mean, if you're looking at the way data is being gathered, each platform that gathers data is different. They have their own ways of gathering data. They have their own ways of doing things. So it's going to be very difficult to say, I mean, how do you gather the data? On what basis did you gather the data? Right? So that is very, very difficult. So privacy rules and regulations need to be made, if not at a global level, at least at a national level. There cannot be no privacy regulation. So each nation should have its own privacy regulation that helps in streamlining the way data is being used, and how anonymously or how non-anonymously can you do it. So that's the second point I want to talk about, where there must be rules and regulations. There must, at least people need to be informed on how the data is being used, and they should feel safe about it, right? I mean, you're trying to use AI to make our life better, and if that's what you want to do, you should make us feel safe that I'm using your data, but then it's not going to necessarily talk about you. You're just a representation of everybody else. You're contributing to the better lifestyle part of it. So the more you educate us, and the more there are rules and regulations, and I know my data is safe, it's better for me to give it. So that's the second point I want to make. The third point is, see, let's face the fact that artificial intelligence has just begun. Even though we spoke about the previous vlog where we saw that, US and China they were there from the very beginning, right? I mean, they've been there far too long. And there are other nations also which are doing a lot of these things. But AI is in a very, very nascent stage. So if you're looking at resources, the costs are huge. I'm not just talking about the infrastructure where you're collecting data. I'm also talking about people as resources. People who know how to do AI, people who know how to put things together, how to use, how to develop, how to inculcate, and how to analyze. So if you're looking at these resources, they are also very limited, which means that it has very, very high cost. Again, I come back to this first point. If we can all collaborate, then nothing like it. We're going to grow faster. See, there are a couple of nations which are really forward in infrastructure because they have what it is required. The R&D is in place, the money is in place, okay, but then they don't have data, right? I mean, you cannot gather so much of data. Then there are the developing nations which can give you that kind of data in terms of the number of people they have, the population that they have. So if nations come together, then it would be great when it comes to, using the infrastructure, using the data that's required, and to move quickly forward. Okay, it's very important that, when it comes to AI data, which we have already spoken in our first vlog, it's not just a one-time process. It's something that you need to keep doing over and over again. So that's the third point I want to make. efficiency of the resources is one, and secondly, affording those resources is a different ballgame altogether. So this is certainly plaguing the industry. The fourth point I want to make is absence of the entire ecosystem itself. I mean, like, how do you access this intelligent data? Is it centralized? Is it just up to you? Like, let us say there is an e-commerce portal, okay, and it's like really famous, it's number one, okay. The data that they collect is theirs. Nowhere are they saying that, this data can be accessed by somebody else. No, they can't, because obviously there are privacy issues. But if you can anonymize data, if you can tell people to share the data, take their permission, and actually put that into a central database where everybody else can also use it, because AI is all about data, right? I mean, so if a lot of people can own similar data and use it to their advantage, I think that's how AI is going to grow. Any nation for that matter. It's not just one, two, or the developed countries, or the people who have got infrastructure, or people who are very strong on AI R&D. That's not the case here. We're talking about data being gathered. We're talking about how we can access data and how that can be made available to the larger section who are interested in AI and who are building AI to make better lifestyles. So that's the fourth point that I want to make. And the last point is the expertise in the research and the application. Okay, we already talked about resources. The thing is, when you're looking at the resources part of it, okay, do we really have the expertise at all? As I said, each nation is doing their bit. Okay, so maybe one nation is very good at something, the other nation is very good at something else. AI, you can apply it in different sectors, like healthcare. You can do it in real estate. You can do it in agriculture. You can do it in climate. You can do it in a lot of things. So each country has their own priority. I mean, depending on the economy they're in, they have their own priority and they specialize in that. Okay, so if that is the case, why are we not exchanging what we are good at? So again, this comes back to the first point which we made in terms of collaboration, people wanting to collaborate and people talking to each other. It could just be the experts, the networking that they do to two continents speaking to each other, two countries, nations speaking to each other. So this is what I feel that these are the 4 points that is stopping artificial intelligence from moving forward at the pace it needs to be. I'm not telling it's not moving forward at all, because that is the in thing. That's what people are working on, and that's what will actually come in. But if we can try to solve these 4 things at a larger level, if we can put these things together and find a solution to this, we can actually look at AI in a different picture, in a different perspective, and the pace is going to be much faster, and definitely it's going to come up to be a more stronger value add. So at AI Folks, this is what we think is plaguing the industry. If you feel that there are other things like this which are actually plaguing the industry, which are not allowing the industry to move forward, which are hindering the progress in the artificial intelligence space, please comment on this video and I'm happy to take it up in the next vlog. This is Mansi, and the AI Folks is head by Vimal Langata. Of course, that's his online name. And you could write to us on ADMIN at TheAIFolks. That is ADMIN @ TheAIFolks.com. You could please write to us and we are happy to take it up in our next vlog and talk about it. So please comment and let us know how you feel about these videos, if there are other points that you want us to cover. Now, the AI Folks is dedicated to understand how artificial intelligence actually works across nations, across the continents, in this planet, of course. What is it that we are trying to do and how can we move this forward? I hope you like this video. This is Mansi here, and thank you for watching.